Hi everybody. Today we're going to be joining Nicole Elovitz in the kitchen making balsamic vinaigrette dressing to take to a friend's house. The first thing you need to know is that truthfully you always want to take it in your best container possible. I've got a little cruet guy that I have purchased when I did some of that Good Seasons dressings. It's usually kind of a special $1 if you buy a packet. Well, the truth is the Good Seasons is crap. But this is great. It transports well, you can shake your dressing, and then it's easy to clean. It also has a nice little flip top. So we're going to be utilizing this vessel to take our dressing with us to our friend's house. They're having us over for lunch. We're going to be having a spinach and pomegranate salad. We'll do a little pomegranate salad recipe right after this. But right now we're going to be focused on the dressing. And the reason you want to have your best dressing possible is because usually people are buying dressing. They'll pull it out of the bottle. Can you get the 4 Fred Meyer bottles out of the cabinet? It looks kind of gross. I'm going to be honest with you. You're not sure whose fingers went in the bottle. Oh, I like the creamy Italian. That's kind of disgusting. I like to make my dressings from scratch. I like to bring in the best ingredients I can within reason. For all of those of you who might not know me personally, I'm actually quite the saver. So this is a great balsamic vinegar. I get it at Winco. It's called Napoleon. You can't see it from where you are. I'll kind of bring it closer. Look for the dude head. As long as you find a dude head, you're fine. I like to buy everything with as many dude heads as I possibly can. I'm also looking for high top brand as often as I can, as long as I know it's not crap. This is not crap. That's pretty good. Pompeian red wine vinegar. I always try to utilize products of which a place I've been. I have been to Pompeii. I have been to the mountaintop. And so Pompeian virgin, or not virgin, vinegar, red wine vinegar. We've got some garlic. I actually have a peeled one. Who am I, Rachel Ray? Did I have some guy in the back doing this for me? No. But I wanted to show you, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can take a garlic head, a clove, just like one of these guys, okay? And you just press on it with your hand. Of course, if you don't have the girth that I do, you might have a little less opportunity to do that. But basically, the paper just peels right off. Did you know that? Now, I know there is a garlic kind of rubber guy. You can kind of rub it on the counter and all this kind of stuff. But you literally can just take those papers right off once you kind of change the shape of the garlic piece. And then you will use a press, a garlic press. Don't put it through the dishwasher or it'll end up looking like mine. But you want a garlic press that you just put the garlic in and you squeeze it through. So this is what we're going to use today. We've got all of our ingredients out. The other thing is I like to get all of the equipment I need right up front as well. So I've got a 1/4 cup measuring cup. I've got my measuring spoons, the garlic press, the food processor, which I'll talk about in a second, and the cruet. Again, remember I talked to you about that's all for presentation and getting it to the next location, next house. So what you want to do is you want to utilize your equipment to the best of your ability. This food processor actually comes with 3 containers, so it's great. This one's the first one, the little one, then there's a second, and then a third. They all stack together, which I love. And the good thing about that is that it allows you to utilize one size without dirtying the others, although we'll see how well I do. With something that's liquid, sometimes you end up being kind of messy anyway. So, for our recipe, again, we're going to need 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. We're going to need 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of red vinegar, and we're going to use 3/4 cup of the olive oil. And 1 clove of garlic put through a press. This recipe is courtesy, I think, of cooks.com, so I appreciate them. I try to use as much as I can from the internet in order to save on buying more cookbooks. And you can find videos like this, like mine, or any others online, and it's very helpful. So what I've done is I just took my garlic press, put the garlic clove into the garlic press, and I pushed it down. Now, if you've never used a garlic press before, you're gonna love that smell. The second thing you're gonna love is that it's really easy, and you want to use anything that's metal just to scrape off any bits, which, by the way, is my favorite word, because you want to get all the bits into the food processor. And you're gonna give it a good shake. Make sure you got all your pieces off. You put that to the side. You're done with your garlic, okay? Then you want to grab your balsamic vinegar. Now, the nice thing about this recipe is it basically tells you just put everything in at once. I'm not worrying about timing or, ooh, I have to do that first or second. You just go for it. So you've got 3 tablespoons of vinegar. So I'm going 1, I always kind of count out loud, 2, 3, especially do that when I'm on video. Let's be honest. We all like to hear ourselves talk. And then I'm going for 1 tablespoon of the red wine vinegar. Now, the interesting thing about this recipe, I thought, was that it actually utilized 2 kinds of vinegar. And here's why I think it's doing that. The balsamic vinegar, which is aged in a barrel, kind of like wine. I'm not sure what kind of wood it's aged in. But it creates this really nice, complex flavor, but kind of the way a cheap wine tastes. And I'm not drinking a lot of cheap wine, but I gotta tell you, high sugar content. What you're doing is you're actually balancing the flavor with the red wine vinegar, and that's very tart, not aged the same way, not the same process. And so by doing that, you have a nice blend. And don't get me wrong, there's recipes everywhere. You're going to find them everywhere. The problem is you're going to make it and go, ugh, mine tastes terrible. Why? Well, you know what? Do with me. It's going to taste fine. Okay, then we're going to go for a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, remember, 1 tablespoon red wine vinegar, 3 tablespoons balsamic vinegar. Now, 1 teaspoon of the Dijon. Now, you want to shake any kind of mustard or ketchup, or you're going to get what we call in our house pea. So that's the water that separates from anything that's like ketchup or mustard in a bottle. You got to give it a shake, or you're going to end up with mustard pea, and you don't want that. So we put that in. So far we've got our garlic, our red wine vinegar, our balsamic vinegar. We've got a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and now we're going for the olive oil. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the recipe calls for us to add this as we're going. So we're going to, actually what we're going to do is start spinning, then we're going to pour the olive oil in. Now the reason you do that is because we're creating an emulsification. That's a heavy, special term, which Alton Brown would be very proud of us all to use. But basically what that means is we're creating a situation where the olive oil grabs onto the other ingredients and holds them together. Now, I'm not telling you it's going to hold it together forever, but I can tell you it's going to hold it together for your dressing. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our food processor on. You're not going to be able to hear me, but what you are going to see is me pouring 3/4 of a cup of olive oil into the food processor. You'll watch it go in, and as it goes in, you're going to have this beautiful kind of sauce come together. So first, let's see how loud this is, and then we'll turn it off for a second again. Okay, not too bad. Hopefully you can hear me. And just so you know, for the record, things spitting everywhere. I got stuff all over my hand right now. So you want to be careful while you're pouring in, because know that it's going to start flying out. So here's one thing. I'm going to get my first one ready, and then we'll start pouring. And remember, I'm going to do 3 of these. So let's see how I do, right? Look at me. I'm like an acrobat. Okay, we're going in. We're pouring. And it's kind of they call it a steady stream. Just so y'all know, if you need, you might need to wipe off your head like I have, because I got a little dressing. It's delicious. Don't get me wrong. But I am wearing it currently. So you want to just make sure that you're pouring in correctly. Hope all of you are following along at home and finding that humorous. I'm giving myself a beauty treatment with the olive oil. I think I was from Italy. Okay, here we go again. And we're on and we're off. And I'm doing that so that I actually am wearing less of the dressing than I was had I left it on full time. And then we just pour one more in, and then my beauty treatment is done. Okay, here we go. It's actually interesting. The more olive oil goes in, the less it's spewing out. We're going to look up that. We're going to find out why that is. I don't actually know why that is. I'm thinking it just needed to get in there. I wish that they had the smell sensor onto your video, because I got to tell you, this smells so good, it's ridiculous. The flavor is going to be wonderful. You may need to, if you choose to, add a little bit of salt to this. But what you've got, make sure you let this drip. You want to make sure that you've got something that can kind of scrape the flavor, that wonderful flavor off the top, because we've got a lot right there. My hands are clean, so I'm going to kind of go like this, because I didn't get a scraper, because that's just like me, to forget to get one. But basically what we've got here is this beautiful dressing. Hold on, I'm going to go off camera. All right. And what we've got here, we're going to unplug. You always unplug. God forbid, there's a plate in there, people. You put it down, and I will show you what a beautiful dressing we have. And now we've got about a cup of dressing in there. It's this beautiful shade of brown, and we'll be ready to make our salad. So we'll see you soon. We're going to be making a spinach and pomegranate salad. See you.